Hi guys, good afternoon. Although we do not have a Zoom today, there is an attendance form for you to click and fill out, the video for you to finish watching, notes for you to take in your journal, and there is a Pear Deck for you to click and join so that way you can complete your assignment. Okay. Okay, on slide 1, once you get into the Pear Deck, okay, there is a little warm-up for you to do. There's 3 equations that I posted. Okay, I want to know the name of each of the equations. Okay, and I said a hint is to look at your star chart. In Google Classroom, I posted your star chart in the resources section, so I'm just trying to get there real quick. In classwork, if you scroll all the way down to resources, I linked the star chart that you will use on your algebra star test. Okay, so if you look in the section that says linear equations, you will have the different types of equations. I want you to give me the name of each of the ones on the Pear Deck. Okay? Okay, so go ahead and press pause. Try to get the names of those, and then you can come back and check your work. Okay, so the name of the first one is, if it lets me type, sorry, slope intercept. Because if you notice, right, I put the M right there that's yellow. There's an M, that is your slope. The plus B is your intercept. Okay, the next type is standard form. Hold on, I'm trying to get it. It's clickable. Next form is standard. And then the last one, standard is when you have the X and the Y on the left-hand side of your equation. And then the last one is the point slope. Okay, go ahead and take out your journal for the next part. The title is going to be Systems of Equations. And notice how I put times 2. That just means that there's 2 equations in a system. Okay, so I'm going to do the notes on the whiteboard so you can follow along and take them in your journal. But I will also post a picture of the notes so that way if you'd rather have the picture and copy them like that, then and that's easier for you, you can have that option as well. Okay. Okay, so our title for today is Systems of Equations. Notice how there is an S, that just means that there are 2 equations this time. Okay, I put today's date, 11:30. So when you have, or when you're presented with an equation or equations, and it tells you to find the solution, essentially that is just the answer. What is the answer, right? So it wants to know what makes the left side equal to the right side, and what gives you a true statement. Okay, so when you have an equation, sorry, okay, when you have an equation, right, that's the one that has the equal sign, your answers look like x equals 2, right? You have a variable equal to a number. Your solution is only at one point. This one point, x equals 2, right, is what makes the left side equal to the right side, right? It makes a true statement, okay? When you have an inequality, Remember, that's when you have the less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to symbols. The answer looks something like this. It's X, it has a inequality symbol, and then a number, right? Remember that there is also shading. So you've got an answer, plus there's something shaded on there. So it includes all points in the shaded area. So all of those points in the shaded area are your solution. Okay, so it's not just saying at 2, right? It's saying that everything bigger than 2, everything greater than 2 is your solution. So when we have a system now, okay, so now we have a system. It's usually represented by these little brackets. That just means that there are 2 equations, okay? Or we can have a system of inequalities. That just means that there's 2 inequalities, right? And all I'm doing is putting the symbol like I did for the equation and equality. I just put 2 equal signs because there's 2 equations, and then I put 2 inequality symbols because there's 2 inequalities. Okay? Your answer this time is going to be a point, x, y. Okay? So your answer is a point. Where your lines cross or intersect. Okay, so go ahead and finish writing this. I'm going to show you the 3 different types of solutions that we can have, and then we'll go on and do some examples together. Okay, so if you have 2 lines graphed, right, and they intersect one time, you have one solution. The one solution that you have is at this point. So your answer is not one solution. Your answer is X, Y. That is your answer. One tells you how many solutions. So one only tells you how many solutions you have. Your actual solution is at the point. Remember, systems give you a point for an answer. Okay, so if you have 2 lines graphed that never touch at all, right? This is no solution, right? There is no answer. None. It does not, they do not intersect, they do not cross, so there is no solution. Then you have a situation where you graph one of the lines, and then you graph the other line right on top of it. So when you've got 2 lines that are the same line, this is when you have many solutions. And there are infinitely many, so the infinity sign, infinitely many solutions that you can have. because every single point on the line is essentially a solution. Okay, so the three types of solutions we can have are one, none, or many, right? The actual solutions are if you have one solution, the answer or the solution is the point where they intersect. If they do not intersect at all, then there is no solution. And then if it's a line on top of a line, then there are infinitely many solutions. This next set of notes I do want you to put in your journal because I'm going to show you the steps to graphing a standard equation. Remember, that's when ax plus by equals c. So remember, that's when the x and the y are on the left-hand side of your equation. A, B, and C just represent variables. Those just represent numbers. Okay, so when we are graphing these, okay, there are two methods we can use. We can use the cover-up method. I haven't shown you this one yet. Or we can use the move x and divide by the number with y. Okay, so I'm going to use the same equation two different ways. Okay, so my example will be for this one 3x plus 2y equals 6. I'm going to write it on both sides. Okay. Using the cover up, these are the steps we're going to follow. So step 1, we're going to cover x, solve for y. So cover x, solve for y. Step 2 will be to cover y, solve for x. And then step 3 will be to graph. Okay, so step 1 told me to cover x and solve for y. So if I cover x, that means that I don't want to see it. Hopefully I can fix that in a little bit. So now I have 2y equals 6. If I divide both sides by 2, then I get y is equal to 3. Okay, so if I have my original again, 3x plus 2y 6. Now I'm going to do second step, cover y, solve for x. So now I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. So x is equal to 2. So now I would go and graph those. I would graph x at 2. I'd graph y at 3. And I'd connect them and there would be my line. Okay. The next video will show you how to do the move x and divide by y. Remember, that one is just a regular solving for y problem. Okay, and I will explain your pear deck for you.